Hello, everyone. Justin Stivers. Thank you guys for listening, watching another episode of the Stivers Show. Excited about my guest, Chandra Etienne, realtor, mom extraordinaire, doing all this stuff out there hustling. Chandra, thanks for being on.
No, thank you. I'm so excited for this. I've heard a couple of your episodes and I know some amazing guests have been on your show. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I'll let you kind of share with you what you have going on and all the stuff that you do. But I know you're, upcoming president-elect for the Miami YPN. And so had several of those people on. We were talking before. It's an awesome group. And I know you're involved in like a million different committees and groups. So we'll touch on that. But, what is it? Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. Realtor, been in the industry since about 2008. My mom forced me in.
Mom's a realtor?
Yes, she's a realtor. She's been in the industry for 37 years now. And I thought I was going to law school. And then while I was in college, she was like, get your license, you never know. So, got into real estate that way. And that's when I met my husband, had two kids, and then have just been getting more and more involved in the realtor community anywhere that I can, and try to be as valuable as much as I can be. So I am a team leader of the core at eXp Realty. I do have a team of agents. I do have a couple of admins. We service Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And like you mentioned, I'm the president-elect for Miami YPN. I'm also a state director for Florida Realtors and a national director for National Association of Realtors. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And of course, two boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I don't get much sleep, but it's all good.
You
It's
stay
all
busy. You stay well. I want to start something we were kind of talking about before,
Mhm.
EXP Realty, right? So, because I think maybe a lot of people aren't really sure who they are, what they do, and I know just a little bit, but what's unique about them?
So the most unique thing about EXP, honestly, in my opinion, is the level of collaboration. I feel like the model allows for less competition and more collaboration. And it's unfortunate, but the way that some agents in the brokerage have kind of tried to take it and make it appear as if it's some sort of like MLM type thing, and it's really not. It's really a thing of like, hey, I'm in the community, I sell and real estate daily, and I run into other great talented agents and we have great opportunities, and it's like, look at this model, like we can really be awesome together, and not necessarily compete in the marketplace, but be collaborative in the marketplace. So it allows for that. And the biggest thing really with EXP is that it's one national brokerage. So it's not franchised or anything like that. So it makes it very easy for certain agents or team leaders and stuff to expand their reach, and expand like their growth, right? And their the markets that they're able to serve because of the model, and the fact that it's not franchised. So it's absolutely amazing company. Again, I've been in the industry a long time, and I joined EXP almost 2 years ago. And I wish I did it sooner because I would have made a lot more money, to be completely honest. But yeah, very unique company that I personally think is just the wave of agents selling real estate in the future.
Yeah, I'm always curious in that space, in that business model, because there are so many brokers, so much competition in that space, and like always new brokerages popping up. So I was just curious, how do they, because they're publicly traded, right?
Yes.
So how do they, what's kind of like the secret to be able to do that? I mean, the model to be able to do that, that's, interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, EXP is almost 11 years old now, and their growth literally just happened in the past 2 years. It took a little bit for people to kind of understand it, get to know the name. I don't know how long it's been publicly traded. I'm not necessarily a big stocks person. We do get a ton of free stocks, like being in the company, and if you're in production, of course. You can't just be in the company and then you're just reaping a bunch of benefits. Like you actually have to be selling real estate. But again, for me, it's really the collaboration. Having a team leader in my marketplace who sells, I don't know, 80 million a year. who is in the same downline as me, if I go to them for advice, they're going to give it to me, because we all benefit. Once one of us is successful, the whole brokerage becomes successful, and it helps everyone's pockets. So again, it's just allows for this high level collaboration that I feel most brokerages don't have. I feel like most people can't go to the top producing team in their office and be like, give me your secrets. How do you do this? Like that agent might look at them and like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not trying to make you my competitor.
Yeah, very, very competitive space. And so I always like to, ask, high producing realtors like yourself, how do you, with so much competition, how do you find a way to get the business and then differentiate yourself?
Oh, so luckily, I don't, most of my business comes from referrals, right? So I don't necessarily spend a lot of money to like acquire new deals or anything like that. And I got into real estate like during the crash. So it wasn't, while most were leaving the industry, that's when I was being introduced into the industry. So most of my clientele are like repeat people that I helped in very tough times. And I, the only thing really that I feel differentiates me from like the average realtor is that I'm just so involved in the realtor space that it allows for me to continue growing my business. It becomes a lot easier, especially in this crazy competitive market right now. When I'm submitting an offer and the listing agent knows who I am and knows that I'll get it done. Um, it's a relationship based business. I just develop relationships everywhere I go and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point because a lot of realtors probably don't see the value of like getting to know a bunch of other realtors because they view them as competition. But what
Right.
you said, it's like, oh, but if I'm on the other side, if the person on the other side knows me or vice versa, we might have a better chance of getting
Absolutely.
the deal. Is
Absolutely. The way there's enough business to go around for everybody. Okay. Like we can't service, one person can't service the millions of people in Miami-Dade and Broward County. Like there's more than enough business to go around. So, I don't come from a scarcity mindset. I feel like there's no business that's supposed to be mine that's going to leave. I don't want to be that way. I have no problems collaborating with agents on almost anything because more than likely, especially if you're in production, I'm going to run into you in a deal and I want the deal done.
Yeah. So is that, did you know that intuitively when you started getting involved in all of these organizations or what kind of like drew you to, being involved so
I
much?
had no idea it was going to be like this. I knew another agent who was in leadership. He was a part of the Miami YPM board, and he literally was just like, apply. Like, you never know, just apply to be on the board. The first year I applied, I actually didn't get chosen. And okay, fine. And then the next year came around again, and I said, you know what? What the heck? Like, I'll apply. And then they accepted me, and it's just, I had no idea that it would be this way. I had no idea that you really had to come from this massive place of value, that is, this really is volunteer work. We don't get paid to put together classes and events and be of service to the realtor community. We don't get paid for that. But I do feel like when you're genuine in what you do and you actually like what you do, it just translates. And Miami YPN, like, I'm sorry, like I have to toot our horn. Like we are just freaking like awesome as a group and individually. And I just feel like when we're together doing stuff, it just makes it easier, even though it takes time and stuff. It's easy, it's fun, and it's just evolved into this thing where it's in turn benefited my business. But I didn't intentionally go into it that way. I didn't even get accepted the first time I applied. So they didn't even know.
So what do you tell, these newer realtors or they're struggling realtors? Where's their, someone who's actually really wanting to do it like for real, not just, hey, I got a license, I'll do a deal, for mom here and there sort of thing. But for
Mhm.
those ones who are really trying to make it a career, I mean, where do they start? What do you tell them?
Oh, you gotta learn before you earn. If you get into this business for the money, you'll be spit right out really, really quick. So I say look for a mentor, look for a team leader, make sure that you choose the right brokerage, that you're not just a number, and you also don't want it to be trainings all day. You want to be in an environment where you're actually able to service clients, right? And somebody's helping you service the clients. Make sure that you choose the right realtor association to join as well. Miami Realtors is the largest local association in the country. We're number 2 in the world. And we put together a ton of classes, for our members to really help them be better in the marketplace. So if you're brand new, learn before you earn. Shadow somebody, get a team leader, get a mentor. Like you got to pay in order to really know what you're doing, and you'll do great from there. Like you just have to soak up all that information, put it into practice, and don't go into it thinking like, oh, well, which brokerage is going to give me the best split? It's at that point you'll be switching brokerages every year,
Yeah.
because someone always can offer you better, you know. So I would just say learn before you earn.
What's the number one realtor association? Do you know?
um oh yeah, it's in Canada. It's starts with a T.
Sorry, I just put you on the spot. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
I
Because
don't remember, but it's in Canada. It's one of the local associations in Canada. They're number one.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you think about, because obviously it's a very, real estate is a very market specific, neighborhood specific. Are you kind of a big believer in, specifying, being very specific in the type of area that you work in, a couple neighborhoods, or do you go all over the place? What are your thoughts on that?
So I I don't think there's a wrong way of doing it. I do think though that no realtor should ever be servicing an area or types of properties that they don't know. So like me personally, I'm a single family homes girl. That's my jam. That's my thing. So if it's in Homestead, if it's in Margate, I don't have a problem. I understand single family homes in Florida. But if somebody's like, hey, I need to find a restaurant and I need to know where to go from there, that's not my jam. I'd rather refer it to an agent who is good at that. I do know that when you're farming a specific area, it takes a little longer, takes a lot of time, a little bit of investment and things like that. And I do think that most of the time in real estate, the easiest business to get is from people you already know, right? People who already know, like, and trust you. So because of that, it is easy to become scattered.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong way, but there's pros and cons to all of it. Like myself, I have deals in Homestead and in North Broward. So it can be very frustrating going to two ends of two different counties. But at the same time, it didn't cost me anything to acquire those clients. So
True.
there's pros and cons with both sides. I just believe never do a deal that you know nothing about. Like I wouldn't necessarily do large commercial. I would partner with somebody or refer it because that's not my thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I do, we write wills and we help people through probate, but if someone comes to me for like, you know, DUI defense, don't ask me, you're going to jail if I you don't want me doing it. um, so what about another kind of shifting a little bit, what about social media for you? I think you're pretty, you're pretty active on it. Has that, do you incorporate that as like, hey, we got to do this to get the word out, or are you pretty active, or is it just kind of like a passive natural thing for you?
Um, I try to be as intentional as possible. But the thing is, once I'm busy, I don't necessarily think of social media. So I try to plan everything out as much as possible. I do like to be as vulnerable on social media as possible. Like yesterday, I had no problems being on Instagram and sharing that, like, look, it's a little tough today. I'm home with two kids with fevers and I'm trying to get these closings situated and I have all this going on. I do think that it's important for people it's the easiest way for people to get to know you. But I try to be as intentional with it as possible. But when I'm busy, I haven't been on social media once today, and it's about to be 12:30. I haven't even been on Instagram. So, it's one of those mornings where it's like, even if I tried to be, I'm too busy today.
You're missing out on all DJ Khaled's posts and everything.
Uh,
You gotta come on
but
now,
I
a new
don't
album and
follow.
everything.
I don't even think I follow Khaled. I try to follow accounts that are that feed me, like that are good energy, motivating. I like to follow other entrepreneurs. Like he's good energy, but like I don't even follow a lot of people on
Yeah,
social.
I like fall. I don't know why, but
But I mean, it's Khaled.
it's
Like
Khaled.
I'm the
Come on
one
now,
missing out here.
come
You
on
know,
now.
I'm the one missing out.
Yeah. No, I'm curious because I think even in my business, which is like my topic is very not sexy at all. And even, real estate, like people are interested, but like how many times can you talk about a house? You know what I mean? But it's such a huge way. I mean, like in my business, we get business from social media and it's such an easy way to promote yourself, promote what you do. So I think I think it definitely works, but it is, it
Oh,
takes work.
it's a job. You know,
Yeah.
like it is another job. I've definitely gotten a lot of business from social media. I've made some great connections with other agents across the country. I have actually I received almost 2.85, I believe is the number, $1 million worth of referrals from social media in the past month, from a buyer in California, another one moving from Maryland, and another one from Orlando. So social media absolutely works, but
Why are you talking to me? You need to get back on there right now.
but it's also about being intentional. It's not just posting just to post. Like I actually respond to people, and I actually engage in conversations and stuff, and I want people to get to actually know me, and so it's, I guess, because of how I want to use it, it takes a lot more time. I'm not just posting and closing the app.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to build relationships on there. That's how I'm actually able to close business.
No, it makes sense. Well, kind of, I know we're coming up on our time, so maybe, last question is, and the question you probably hate, what's going on with the market? What do people need to be doing? What's all that? What's going on?
Oh, okay. So the market is pretty crazy for buyers. Sellers, not so much. All right. Right now, if you're considering trying, cashing out, put your house on the market now. I also think that you have a lot of buyers who are getting very discouraged because there's just no inventory. It's very tough, especially for first-time home buyers or anybody who's trying to look for something affordable. It is very tough, but it can be done. So the market right now, I would say, is extremely tough for buyers. It's an absolute gold mine for sellers, but buyers are still winning. You just have to make sure that you have the right agent. Last night, I was in a bidding war, and it just so happened that the listing agent recognized me, my lender, and the attorney that I put as the closing escrow company. And that automatically pushed us up to the top. Okay. So basically, like I've been saying this whole time, relationships, relationships, relationships. And it's tough, but it can be done. Just hire the right professional to help you navigate this space. Um, Sellers right now are just freaking cashing out. I know some people are concerned, like, well, there's going to be a bunch of foreclosures because, once the moratorium is done and this and that. And I'm like, look, man, there's just so much equity out there that even people who have not been making a mortgage payment in the past year are probably sitting on at least 100K. They're not about to get foreclosed on. They can probably still sell and cash out. So, yeah, that's the market's pretty insane. I've never seen it like this, and I don't think it's about to slow down. So,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree. I think, I mean, especially here in South Florida, people are coming. They're not
oh,
leaving. So
all of my buyers right now, except for two, are all moving from out of town. They're relocating and from all over Colorado, Cali, New York, of course, Central Florida. I mean, they're coming from all over. So it's not about to slow down at all.
well, if people want to get in touch with you, find you, use you as a, help them find a place since you got all these connections. Where do they go? How do they find you?
Yeah. So, I mean, we mentioned social media. So, very easy to find me on social media. It's at Chandra Etienne. I make it very easy. It's my name. And then thecorerealtors.com. So, TheCore realtors.com. It's the easiest place to find me and my team. We're going to put together a couple events now that things are starting to open up and some people are starting to get vaccinated and do what's comfortable for them. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where we'll be announcing some great events and class series and stuff for people who are trying to navigate through this insane market.
Awesome. I know you got a lot of great info out there, so we appreciate it. Ms. Chandra, appreciate it. And thanks for being on. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.